Floating toilet, some basic tips to fix a cistern flushing system. Too often every toilet is due to the flush valves inside the toilet tank. There are two main reasons why the floating toilet happens in the valves. A toilet running can be a troubling, and unnecessary, problem. It can be noisy, especially in the evenings, not only wasteful. During the dead night, the constant trickling seemed to have amplified. This is a common problem and surprisingly easy to solve, if you know the basics about how a toilet works. The flush valve can wear or malform, or the drainage hole can accumulate sediment or minerals to prevent the sediment from completely closing. Turn off the supply of water, drain the tank and scrub the valve seat with the appropriate pad or sandpaper. If necessary, you might have to replace the flush valve. Some tanks have a ball flapper or ball stopper. Please follow the instructions of the manufacturer. What causes toilet leakage? Floating. While the mechanics of most toilet tanks in the past 50 years have unbelievably simple. In fact, we have three main parts for the whole system: the tank holding the water, a float attached to a pivot arm, and a stop valve. After the toilet is flushed, the water in the tank is thrown into the toilet bowl, which causes the float to drain. The valve opens so that water slowly starts to refill the tank. Once at a certain height, the float again closes the valve and stops water flow and leaves us with a whole tank of water until we flush again. So, the system works like that, but why is the toilet running sometimes constantly? What causes a floating toilet? The most common problem here is just that the container arm is not linked. This enables the water level to rise too high and therefore to flow into a pipe and the bowl. How to fix it? It is simple to fix this problem of misalignment. First, we must remove the lid. Be careful, ceramic toilet lids can be heavy and costly to replace. Once the sideboard has removed, we can adjust the angles of the float's arm with a simple adjustable screw. To save water and money, it is recommended that the float be placed so that the valve that refills the tank closes after the tank is half full, but this is your choice. What is important is that the float shuts off the water supply before the water reaches overflow. You stop floating toilet if you do that. It is so simple indeed. When there are no tools on hand, simply bending the arm which holds the float can solve the problem, so just be careful not to harm yourself or the float mechanism itself. Recheck mechanism. A rubber fill valve that attaches to a handle by a chain or similar material holds the water in the toilet. Fills a bowl for confirmation. Pressing down the flush handle increases the filling or flush valve so that the tank parts can drain quickly into the bowl below. A float and fill valving mount has used to control the quantity of water held in the tank. So, check the floating toilet after mending and practice the flushing before closing the lid. Press the button, or hold down a lever, and investigate the movement of the handle in the bowl. If it moves the way discussed above, it means the fixation has done correctly. Now close the lid. Floating toilet and the royal bathrooms. It is more than an irritation to have a noisy toilet. Not just wastewater, but a septic system can also be overloaded, and water charges are increased. You need to fix it if your toilet runs constantly. Companies present some basic ideas for how a floating toilet can be fixed. Stay connected to them for a timely recovery.